Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to achieve this delicious Creole chicken and turkey sausage gumbo. If you guys would like this recipe, stay tuned. For this recipe, you'll need sausage. I'm using smoked turkey sausage, 4 large skinless boneless chicken breast, a green bell pepper, a sweet onion. I use 4 stalks of celery, chicken broth, garlic, green onions or scallions, black pepper, Creole seasoning, white pepper, onion powder, oregano, Old Base blackened seasoning, garlic powder, poultry seasoning, red pepper flakes, thyme, flour, vegetable oil, and rice for serving. We're going to start by adding some oil to a pan, making sure the pan gets hot before I add in my sliced up sausages. The whole goal here is just to add a little bit of color onto the meat. I ended up switching pans just because this is the pot that I'm going to end up making the gumbo in. So while our sausage is brown, we can start to season our chicken. I'm going to be going in with the Creole seasoning and just seasoning my chicken until I feel like my ancestors tell me to stop. You feel me? Gonna go in with my Old Bay blackening seasoning, and I'm going to continue to do the same. There's really no seasoning measurements for this portion of the video because you can just see what I'm adding. I'm adding the black pepper, poultry seasoning, white pepper, the red chili flakes, and I'm going to go ahead with my tongs and stir that together until both sides of all of the chicken thighs are thoroughly coated. Set that aside, and now we're going to go back to our smoked sausages. You see they have a nice color on them, which is what we wanted, and we also wanted a little bit of that fat cooked off of them into the pan, because that's the same pan we are going to just add our chicken thighs straight into the pot. Again, the goal is to just get a little bit of color onto the meat. We are not trying to thoroughly cook it because it's going to fully cook all the way in the gumbo. Now I'm going to just start flipping over my chicken pieces. Like I said, they're not supposed to be cooked all the way through. We just want to add a little bit of color, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to continue to let these cook on the other side. And now I'm going to take these out and put them on a separate dish. So now that I've cleaned the pot, I'm going to start on the roux. I am going to add 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. I'm going to slowly start stirring in 1/3 a cup of flour, whisking it in, making sure there are no clumps, bumps, humps, lumps, none of that. And you need to make sure your oil is hot, so once you see the flour sizzle, when it hits it, you know it's getting warmer. And the whole process of making a roux is pretty much to cook the flour, and it's like a base to thicken sauces. Whisking in that last bit of flour, and now I'm going to continuously stir. The key to cooking the flour evenly without burning it. Now the goal for the roux is a dark rich color. To achieve that, you have to continuously stir, watch it cook for about, this took me I think 25 to 30 minutes of continuously stirring. I switched between a spatula and a whisk, and I pretty much just sat there. We are at a peanut butter kind of color right now, and you're just going to watch throughout the next clips of me continuously stirring. It's just going to get darker and richer in color. The darker the roux, the more flavor. Throughout the process, you'll also notice that your roux is slightly becoming thicker throughout the whole process, and that just means that you are doing it right. As you can see, we are getting darker in color with the roux. It's becoming a nice brown color. And now we are about where we want to be. I could have went a little bit darker with it, but I was kind of being impatient. So, boom, nice dark chocolatey brown roux. We are going to go in with our celery, onions, and bell pepper. This is the holy trinity of cooking. Now, this smells so good. I'm telling y'all, this is literally like one of my favorite smells in the world. I don't know why. It's bomb. Okay, so now we're going to cover those veggies in the roux mixture. And I'm going to keep stirring. This is the part I'm about to start adding in the chicken broth while stirring as well, because this is about to start the gumbo base, baby. Once I added in a whole box of chicken stock, I went in with some water as well. This is the last of the chicken stock that I'm pouring in the pot. You could really just use 2 boxes of chicken stock, but I only had the 1 carton. So now I'm going to add in my smoked sausage meat. I'm going to get all of those drippings up out of that bowl as well. And now I'm just going to give it a good stir. I'm going to add in a little bit of Creole seasoning, some Old Bay blackened seasoning, some black pepper, some chili flakes, oregano, onion powder, a little bit more Cajun seasoning, you feel me? Some garlic powder, a little bit of black pepper, or a lot, some thyme, the minced garlic or crushed garlic, and now I'm just going to stir that together. I let those flavors cook for like 2 minutes, and now I am going to add in the chicken thighs. I'm going to place them in one by one off of the plate. And I'm also going to add in the chicken juice that is on the plate. I've made this dish before with no bay leaves, but I'm going to go ahead and add in bay leaves just because I still have some from the birria tacos. And I'm going to add that in, stir it together, and add my top. And I'm going to let this cook for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Now I'm going to go ahead with my spatula and stir this together. As you can see, it's starting to look a little bit more like gumbo to me, baby. So, it's still not quite as thick as I like my gumbo. I was just showing you right here how tender the chicken is starting to be, but we still want it to cook a little bit longer and for the gumbo to get thicker. So we are going to fish out the bay leaves now. I put in 3. So I'm going to go ahead and fish out all 3. And now you're going to let your gumbo continue to cook uncovered for another 30 minutes to an hour so it can get thicker.
1 hour later.
Okay, now our gumbo has thickened up nicely how I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a good stir. And I'm going to chop in some scallions. I washed them, and now I'm going to take my kitchen shears. They're strictly for the kitchen, and I'm just going to head and cut those into the pot. I do this at the end so that they'll still have a bit of their oniony flavor. And I'm also going to use these as a garnish. Give those a good stir. Turn off your heat. And your gumbo is ready for serving. Our chicken broke down nicely and I am hungry. Now you want to serve your gumbo with a pot of rice. I'm just adding a pat of butter here and stirring that in so I can have buttery rice to go with my gumbo. Now I'm going to show you how I serve it. First, I'm going to take a couple of ladlefuls of the gumbo in the bottom of the bowl. And next, this is for presentation purposes. You could just scoop the rice in there, but I'm going to take my measuring cup actually, and I'm going to fill up my rice so you can get the nice molded dome of rice in your bowl. I'm going to press that down. I'm going to just plop that in there. And next, are going to add in our leftover chopped scallions. I told you to reserve some for the end as a garnish. And now here's our finished dish, you guys. I don't feel like it took that long. It's a couple of hours of labor and love for something so delicious, you guys. I'm telling you, please try out this recipe. It is so yummy, so hearty, and it's good for the warm winter nights. I was inspired by Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog. I've ever tasted. And my Creole roots, my family is originally from Shreveport, Louisiana. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you try this recipe. Peace.